Thank you for picking up the sticks. This is episode 114, Sticks Gaming Podcast. I am Mike Carnett. To my somewhere is Mike Steak Carnia.
What's going on?
And to my other art, Mr. Monday Night Rosian, even though it's Tuesday.
But
Listen,
last night I was roaring and ready to go. Tonight,
not so much.
Tuesday's an off day. Let me tell you.
Well, let me tell you something too. I mean, if they can have Monday Night Football on a Wednesday this year, who cares? I mean, there's no real rhyme or reason to dates or days or anything like that.
There's no more rules.
Time is all imaginary.
So was it time's a flat circle? That's the saying. Whatever it is. Yeah, so we're doing this virtually again.
Whatever hippy dippy bullshit phrase you want to put on it, that's what it is.
Yeah, doing this virtually again. I took a little bit of a trip, and I would feel bad if I got these guys sick and their families sick. So we're just gonna take the extra bit of precaution to do it this way this week.
I would go down a line of murdering people. It'd start with you, and I know who invited you on the trip, so then go to them. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure we'll get much further than that. So
I got enough badness going on, bad juju. So I don't need art bearing down on me, hunting me down too. So we'll just do this virtually for one more time, one more go around, one time for old time's sake, and we'll probably be back on the normal bandwagon. But we got this show, and then the next show is a week before next gen launch, and then on the next show we can actually talk about it. It'll be in our hands. And we can talk about, hopefully, knock wood.
Yeah.
And we'll have system impressions and things like that. But we got a lot.
I think when you sent out the message hey, when are we recording and all that stuff, I started looking at the calendar. I'm like, no, we can't bump this a week. That doesn't work for me.
No.
It doesn't work for anybody. So, but I mean, a lot did happen from last time we spoke to this time. A fair amount of PlayStation news we've been looking for a while finally came out. So
hey, look, I switched it.
Hey,
hey, you doing another shirt?
He changed. Not changed.
I changed my shirt. I changed my shirt. It's been 2 weeks, and I finally did it today. I was like, you know what? I was gonna say something if I don't change this shirt today.
Very nice.
You're right.
All right, let's get this off. Steak, what you playing?
All right. I don't know what to play anymore because I officially have no more Yakuza games right now. I finished.
Congratulations!
I got through them all. I did it. That one took me about 16 hours. It was a lot shorter than the last couple. But it was good. It was very, very good. It was kind of weird at first, but Yakuza always had some weird parts in the story. But usually towards the end, the finale ends up being worth it. And God, the finale for this one was just absolutely phenomenal. Probably my favorite final chapter out of all of them. So it was really, really good. So then after that, I've been messing around. I've started and stopped 10 minutes into probably 10 different games since I finished that because I can't figure out what to play. It's weird. I don't know what to play right now. And also too, with the new systems coming out, everything's gonna run and play better on the new system.
Totally. I had that moment. I stood and looked at myself. I was like, I got nothing I want to play right now.
I don't want to play
anything new. Weeks. Yeah, right. I got plenty I want to play in a couple of weeks, but right now, I'll just see this, I guess.
Exactly. So I did, but the one I put a couple hours into Shenmue 3 finally.
Okay.
One of those thick Japanese. It's cool. It's fine so far. It's more Shenmue. It's for better and for worse. It still feels like a game from way back in the day. The audio is terrible. The dialogue is terrible, but again, in the best Shenmue way possible, though. So if you're already a fan, you know what to kind of expect there. But yeah, so like I said, I played about a couple hours of that, but now I don't know if I'm going to go back to it right now. I don't know. It's a lot slower than Yakuza 2, because it's more of a chill kind of game. And it's just, like I said, I'm in that state right now where it's just everything. I'm just I want to play this. Oh, but it's gonna run it. It's probably gonna run up to 60 frames on the Series X. So why right now? The only other thing I really jumped into a bit was the Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory demo.
Okay.
This is the rhythm game that's coming out.
Did you ever find out if you can play that on PS5?
I don't know. I'm gonna go. I did find out it was coming out on Xbox. I'm jumping ship for Yakuza. So I'm jumping ship for Kingdom Hearts.
Well, I
'cause
thought.
that
Well,
was,
they had the list came out, right? I mean, the
yeah,
background
and it's not
compatibility
it's
list
not
came
on
out.
no, but I was thinking about it anyways. I'm like, well, I'm jumping ship for Yakuza. Why not? Like, I might as well let's start jumping ship for everywhere. So yeah, I think I'm gonna switch it
Hey,
to
I need to interrupt you for 1 second. Your screenshot here, like I know where you are in your house where we always record, but with the lighting and the wall behind you, you look like you're in a jail cell.
yeah. I was kind of like this weird like thing
Yeah.
here and yeah.
He looks
That's
like more in
awesome.
quarantine than I do.
Yeah.
Mike's
It's
in
kind of a
Mike's
weird
in
angle, isn't it?
quarantine. Steak is in
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
quarantine.
Yeah, exactly. So this is that Rhythm Kingdom Hearts game. It's gonna have all different music through the game. There is gonna be a story mode in it. It's gonna follow Kyrie, and it's supposed to continue the story. So I'm super pumped for it. It was cool. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm really excited to play through it. It reminded me a lot of the Final Fantasy their Rhythm, I think it was called, and that was on the DS, which was awesome. I put many hours into that, and this is very similar. So
Apparently, there used to be a guy. I don't remember the guy's name or his position, but there used to be someone who worked at Ubisoft that would like go around and see what people were working on and be like, okay, that would be a really cool Far Cry game or concept. And then you kind of also it. I feel like that's what they're doing right now with like Kingdom Hearts, where like someone's walking around and start making like a music game. They're like, you know what? Kingdom Hearts music game sounds better. So let's just do a Kingdom Hearts music game instead.
Listen, you have a music game, and Disney has some good music, so
Right.
it's kind of just it writes itself. Um, a lot of people are still pissed off that it's $60, but like for me, it's fine. It's
Better
gonna
than
be. I'm gonna
70 in a
put.
couple weeks.
then don't buy it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Right. Exactly. I'm gonna be putting many hours into this. Like I said, if it's like the Final Fantasy one, I'll be putting a ton of hours into it, because they already hinted like it's gonna have a ton of songs. Like it has
Yeah.
all like the different Disney songs and everything, because they already have the rights to them, so it's gonna be there, which is cool. So I'm pumped. Art was making fun of me because it does come out November 13th, so same week as next gen, playing an old gen game next gen. So I'm super, but of course, like I'm gonna that Yakuza, Assassin's Creed, Miles Morales. Man, that's gonna be a hell of a week. Actually, and now I'm gonna have all this new stuff. I'm gonna be like, all right, now what?
Yeah, right. Now I have too much to play.
I have
Now
so
it's
much
too
stuff
much.
here. I have nothing to play.
Right now it's got nothing, and then I got too much. I'm gonna go watch. I'm gonna go watch something. Go watch The Office for a few hours.
Deciding what to play is overwhelming. I'm gonna go do something else.
Exactly. That's it.
Art, what you playing?
Not a whole lot actually. I've been trying to go to bed at reasonable hours.
Oh, good for you.
Played a little bit more of Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Okay.
I'm like knocking on the door at the end of that thing. I've run into a problem though. The kid likes watching me play it, and since I'm so close to the damn end, now I can't play without him there. I'm gonna feel bad if I finish the game and he's like, "Can you play the game?" And I watch it. I'll be like, "Nah, buddy, I finished it. It's gone. It's over."
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of cut into my my playtime on that, because there's been nights where everyone's in bed and I'm like, I should finish that. No, that'll make the kid upset. Can't do that. And then the other times when he does ask me to play, it's like we're eating dinner in 10 minutes. I'm not even gonna bother loading the game up.
Yeah, right.
So hopefully before next gen I'll have that finished. I thought it would be finished before tonight. It would have been, but I made the mistake of playing it in front of the kid.
I recommend finishing that whole last part by yourself if you can, just because there's a lot of story that's going on in that part.
Okay.
So you want to like.
I'll probably do that because he does love asking questions while I'm playing, which
that sounds about right.
is awesome when you're in the middle of a fight against a boss character and you're trying to figure out how to attack this thing and not have everyone die, and you got a 6-year-old asking you a billion questions a second, and then when I die, it's his fault, of course.
Of course.
I let him hear about it. Outside of that, less Rainbow Six than usual.
Even with a new season.
Yeah, new season's been out for a month now. It's old news.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm behind.
Yeah, that's it though. I mean, I really haven't played anything else.
Okay. Well, like I said, I was gone for like 6 days, more or less. So my list is also very short. When I talked last time, did I talk about finishing Tony Hawk 1 and 2?
You talked about them. I don't know if you talked about finishing them.
Okay, so I have all of Tony Hawk 1 and 2, all the goals, 100%. So
Nice,
all those done.
nice.
I don't know if I'm going to go much more beyond that. Like, it's fun to like just kind of jump in and just try stuff every once in a while, but like
Right.
the challenges don't really speak to me that much in terms of like I got to do this. But I wanted to get all the goals and all the different levels, so I did accomplish that. So that might be done. I'm about I'm probably literally halfway through. Tell me why. I finished the first chapter. I'm about halfway through that second chapter. I like it. I like it. I actually do like it a lot. I wish there was more. I have a feeling it's going to be like a bunch of like world building and character building, and then like heavy story, and then done because it's only 3 chapters. So I almost kind of wish it had that old like Telltale formula of doing 5 chapters, pretty much no matter what. So I guess I mean that first episode being a lot of learning who these people are and the environment and their motivations and things like that. That's perfectly fine, and you need that for a story, obviously, especially something this complex. But I just feel like that was almost the entirety of the first episode. So 1/3 of the game is essentially like getting to like the crux of what's going on. If that was like a movie, like if you were 2 hours into a movie, be like, what the hell is going on?
Yep.
But it's since it's that kind of that middle ground between like like a normal like 2-hour movie and like a longer video game. I just feel like I'm going to be like, man, I kind of wanted more than that already, and I'm only halfway done. So there's still halfway to go. So I could be totally proven wrong and be like, yeah, this is perfect. This is great. We'll see. But from what I have played, I am enjoying it overall. But I just like I'm more afraid of what's coming as opposed to of what I played. If that makes any sense. Like I can see the tea leaves. I can read the tea leaves. I just like I don't know if I'm gonna really get the full enjoyment out of this thing as I would have if I got a chance to spend more time with those characters. But we'll see. And last but not least, I played a little bit of the Call of Duty Cold War beta that was out last weekend. Specifically, I played the Fireteam Dirty Bomb mission or mode. That was super fun. It's a new type of mode they put in the game this year. It has like aspects of Warzone in there where like you have your squad of 4 guys. The map is significantly smaller, and you're finding these like crates around the map. And the map have uranium in them, I think, and different stuff like ammo bags and kill streaks and just like they do in Warzone. And then you bring those uranium places to a deposit where you deposit them until you fill up a meter. Once you fill up a meter, you can activate a dirty bomb, and anyone in that radius is killed, and you get a bunch of points for your team. Like you get points for killing guys, you get points for depositing uranium, and you get a boatload of points if you detonate it. And detonating is one of those things where like you gotta sit on a bomb for a while. You're just pressing this button, this keypad, and it just takes forever. So you're just like, come on. As like you can hear like the gunshots going around you.
You're just
I
waiting
think
for that sniper round to go through your head.
Oh yeah, and like it was actually funny. Like in the like about 2 hours I played of that mode, I don't think I saw a sniper rifle once.
What?
At least I did that. I wasn't killed by a sniper rifle in that entire time, so that's cool. And I think it's like if you get a chance to like actually build your classes and work with people as opposed to just being like, all right, there's 4 of us all trying to do our best. You know what I mean? I think that mode was super fun, and super interesting going into the release of the game. So that was a really cool way to do the beta. They had other modes on there too. Like they had like classic multiplayer. They had high value or VIP escort, which I did not do because that just sounds terrible.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah, exactly. I would in Vegas, but what the hell is I talking about, Art? God damn it!
Different game modes.
Oh, thank you. And there was a third one. There was like Domination was the third one. So there's some of the classic stuff. There's some of the new stuff in there. Yeah, I mean, it got me excited for it. I mean, I think I know if I end up buying it on next gen consoles when that all starts up, just to have one more thing to play, and B because I do like playing them. But yeah, I really like that new mode, and like I said, I hope we can get like a team of 4 of us in there to try it out and get coordinated and blow some stuff up. And once you shoot the dirty bomb explodes, like there's like a raid, like it explodes, and then that area of the map for a while becomes like contaminated. So like then all of a sudden like you go from 5 bombs down to 4, down to 3, down to 2, 1, and then once all of them are exploded, like it restarts the map. But the game doesn't end. So like they have like a cooldown for the bombs, and you can kind of go at it again. You can spawn on your teammates. You can or you jump out of a plane, just like Warzone. Like when you get back in it after doing the gulag, like you actually jump out of a plane, and you can land and have your stuff and go.
So if the bombs reset, is that how you score a point? Then is by setting off a bomb, or
it's killing enemies. Depositing uranium. Okay, it's only like 20. It's like killing is like 100. Depositing every uranium piece is 25, I think. But the blowing of the bomb is like 500 or something like that. It's like it's a lot more.
And like are the bombs in like the main lanes in the map where people would normally go through? So it like when one goes off and that area is contaminated, does it kind of totally reroute people?
Yeah. So like once that area is basically that area becomes contaminated for a while. So like you're not going to score any points unless you're killing people.
Mm-hmm.
So like the only way to score any kind of massive points is to kind of go towards one of those bombs. So like every time one of those bombs goes off, like the area of combat keeps shrinking down smaller because you keep going down to you have 5 bombs you can go to. Like when I was doing the 5 bombs, you almost don't see anybody sometimes because you might be the only people over there.
Right.
But by the time you get down to 3 and 2 and 1, everyone's over there, and it gets really kind of frantic and hectic and crazy until someone finally scores that point, and then the bombs reset, and everyone kind of goes off on their separate ways again.
Is it one of those things where like if you're carrying uranium and you get killed, person can run over your body and steal it?
Oh yeah, you explode uranium when you die. Like it goes everywhere. So like all the stuff you're carrying, like I said,
it's like a Minecraft death.
Yeah, it really is. It's like they're all cubes too, so it really is a Minecraft death. And like I said, they have the kill streaks on there, which are super helpful. They have they only had the one map when you played it, but that map had snowmobiles and tanks and a bunch of other stuff you can get into as well. And it had anti-aircraft stuff, so you can like take down airstrikes that are going over. Like just a lot going on. Super cool. A nice little twist on the classic gameplay. So super excited to get my hands on that one when it comes full release. That's it. That's all I've been playing. So Steak, what is coming out the next couple of weeks?
All right, so this should be the last smaller list we have for a little while. October 23rd, Transformers Battleground coming out for PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
Everything stopped.
Wait,
what? Did I tell you about the World of Tanks DLC?
For what?
No.
I don't know. Computer, I assume. But is that World of Tanks? It's the World of Warships. So it's like the warship version of the tank game.
Yeah.
They had a Transformers crossover. I'm like, fucking cool. Like big ass tankers like transforming.
Yeah.
No. It's just like Megatron behind the wheel of the tanker. Like he's like like what is this nonsense?
Oh, that's
what a
terrible.
waste of a license.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. On October 29th, Watch Dogs Legions for PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Stadia.
Review's been hot so far.
Yeah. I'll get it when it's $20.
I'm sure I'm going to sit here and tell you I'm never going to get it, and I'll somehow get suckered into getting it.
So Ubisoft gets their stuff kind of cheap, kind of quick. So
yeah. October 30th, the Dark Pictures anthology, Little Hope for PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Yeah, I like the first one. I thought that was fun. I'll definitely now that the first one was on Game Pass, so I'll just wait at this point. I'm assuming the second one would be too.
Probably. And October 30th, Pikmin 3 Deluxe on Nintendo Switch. And then there was some games that came to Game Pass recently. Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition came for PC. Heave Ho to PC. Katana Zero to xCloud, console, and PC. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, console and PC. And on October 22nd, Rainbow Six Siege on console and xCloud.
Look at that. Are you going to play on your phone?
I don't picture that being a great mobile experience at all. Lag is kind of a issue in that game.
So before that's everything for new releases, right?
Yeah.
All right, before we get into the news, real briefly, two things. I did mess with the xCloud a little bit. I had a Samsung S10 Plus. I actually hooked it up a PlayStation 4 controller to it just to get crazy with it. It works great. Like not only the controller works great, but like the talk about the lagginess and things like that. I did play the games I played. I played Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is really hard to play on a phone because he's so tiny. So like it's really hard to see that like where he was going. But I felt the controller was super responsive. I felt that all worked out phenomenally. Interesting enough, when you use a PlayStation 4 controller as well, the touchpad actually works as a touchpad. So like I'm actually maneuvering around my phone with the touchpad and using like, the click buttons as like a mouse and stuff like that. So it was like a nice added feature to the Microsoft thing that I had on mouse as well.
Did it
I
still
played
show?
that.
Did it still show ABXY for the buttons?
I did. Oh yeah, it ruined my brain the first time X came up. But yeah, in the brief time I spent with it, like it worked really well. Like I was really I picked up Ori because I knew it was gonna be like a high performance game and it needed to be quick with it, and it handled it great. Also, when I was going through and clearing out my Xbox of all the stuff so I can sell it, the new user interface for the Xbox is really good. Especially I mean for the store specifically. The new like bar on the side there is very PlayStation Network esque. But what I like about this is how snappy it is. There's a wish list on there, which I really like. So you can kind of like wish list a bunch of games, and then like on my PlayStation app on my phone, I will go to my wish list and see what's on sale every week, as opposed to going through the sale like every single week and looking at all the game like the 500 options that are for sale every single week. I can just see what's wish lists. Um, and like just like the way you can look through, like look at the highlighted games, what's suggested to you, what's on sale, and then with one click of the button, you can list all the games right there if you wanted to too, in that sale or all the recommendations to you, whatever it is. So I want to say I crapped on a lot of Microsoft user interface over the last 7 years, so I want to give them a little props where props are due. So sorry, extra.
It's time for the news.
The news.
I'm just gonna go on the list here. I don't care what order I read these in.
It's all fine.
So Sony released a video of someone doing a teardown on the PS5. This man literally ripped the system apart with his hands, pretty much. I think there was a couple screws, but
Yeah.
he took it down like basically. iFixit has like teardown videos for repairs. You don't need it because this guy showed you how to take every part off.
Yep.
It was impressive.
I'm my first thought when I was watching that video was I don't know if that's a gigantic box or a really little man.
It was both, actually.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
But it's like it was on the table. The table went to the guy's waist. The PlayStation went up to like his shoulder.
Yeah. It's massive.
It's huge.
So there's that. I had two thoughts on it. I don't remember what they were though.
While you think of it, my first one was the stand, because it comes in a vertical orientation out of the box. You got one screw you got to take out, and then the clip and the screw, just a little cubby for the screw in the base too, so you can cover it so you don't lose it, because God knows I will. And then you basically just clip, kind of like just clipped on the back of the PlayStation, like around the bottom of it, become horizontal. So it was nice that a little worried that it wasn't included, but you can't have that system horizontally without it.
Either way,
Right.
either way you need it. If it's vertical, it's too unstable without the stand, and if you lay it flat horizontally, it won't lay flat.
Yeah, be like this.
Yep. Yeah.
My two thoughts on the whole thing were the side panels do just snap off, which is awesome because I expect to see black panels on the market very soon.
Oh yeah.
I can get that white eyesore out of my goddamn TV stand. And the other thing that I saw that is kind of concerning, I totally understand why they did it. I don't necessarily like it, is that the SSD is built into the system board.
Yeah.
I know they had to do that for the speed, but I don't like that because if one of those SSD chips dies, your system's dead. Unless they're going to let you fail over to a add-on drive, which would impact system performance, but might still let you use the system. But they haven't said they're going to do that, and seeing as how their big selling point so far has been the speed of the system, I almost don't expect them to allow you to just use a aftermarket drive in the expansion slot.
Yeah. I mean, that was the first thing you voiced to us after you watched the video, and that is a very legitimate concern.
Yeah,
For
I'm
sure.
having spent a lot of time working on laptops. I prefer everything be modular, that you could snap in and snap out. And like I said, I absolutely understand why they did it that way. They had to get the speed they wanted, but I'm not happy about the thought that your hard drive dying means your system's dead.
Right.
For sure.
Outside of that, there's a massive fan in the system, just a massive fan.
A massive fan,
heat sink.
a massive heat sink, and they put holes in it. Like you take one of the sides off,
Right.
and there's
Yeah.
a holes in there for vacuuming, which is one of the problems with the PlayStation 4. Why it sounds like the classic jet engine that everyone talks about, which is real. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of thought put into things that people didn't like about the PlayStation 4 in terms of just like having those little vacuum holes, the giant fan, and I guess the fan's
Right.
like upgradable or updatable or something like that through hardware, firmware updates.
So I don't even think it's a firmware update. I think what they're planning on doing is they're planning on like having the system feedback like game system performance data while playing various games, and having whether it's some kind of update or something, but basically tuning the fan per game to get the best performance out of everything. While keeping the noise minimal, because I do not want another 747 on my TV.
No, for sure. I hear you.
As I was playing hockey earlier tonight, and I swear to God, I thought the kid turned on the fan in the laundry room at full blast or something. Anything else on the teardown stuff? No. Okay, good talk.
It was 4 screws, and all of a sudden there's just a whole table with the stuff.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy.
Sony gave out some more information on upgrading PS4 games to PS5 versions and backwards compatibility.
Yes.
Apparently, if you have a disc-based game that has an upgrade option for PS5, you'll put the disc in and it'll give you an option to upgrade it.
Yep.
Hopefully, it's just a prompt that's like in your face when you put it in there. It's not something you have to go hunting for in the PlayStation Store or anything.
It sure seems that way. And they also said there's going to be select games that you pop in, and it's going to automatically ask if you want to download like the digital version of the game.
Right.
So it's going to automatically switch you over to a digital version, which is also fine.
Yeah,
but I still think you got to put the disc.
You still have to put the disc in for the license. Yeah. They do that so people can't get a digital version and sell their game.
Right.
So moving on to there's some more stuff here. You can transfer digital games from PS4 to PS5 either over your network or by just moving over the external hard drive if it's installed on there, which I think is something Xbox has had for quite a while at this point. Game Boost will enhance some PS4 games, so just like on the PS4 Pro, there was the Boost mode. It looks like they'll have something similar to that. Only 10 games that are not backwards compatible. I don't have that list in front of me, but
I'm on it.
It's not important.
I'd say none of them sounded like big titles.
It is important.
I don't know how they're not able to get Hitman Go to run on the PS5.
Yeah. That's the one that hurt. Even though I platinumed it already, that one hurt.
It's a mobile game. How can you not get it to run on this supercomputer you're installing in my living room? It might just be something where like it needed a little tuning to work, and Ubisoft didn't want to put more resources into it, and
especially for a license they don't own anymore, right? Because you don't own the Hitman.
So.
Right. Maybe IO Interactive didn't want to someone didn't want to put time into it. It's not a big deal.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you guys keep going. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll have that list.
A
second.
I'm not sure if it was in this announcement or not, but at some point they announced that the PS5 camera does not support PSVR, which I could have swore at some point they said it was going to, and I don't know if they backpedaled. And that's something I wanted to like mention. Just even last episode was like Sony's messaging. I don't know if it's convoluted or if they're. I mean, in some parts they're just full of shit. Like I don't know if they actually said anything about the camera working with PSVR. But I know they definitely said they believe in generations, and every game except for one that they're putting out that sounds like in the first 6 months plays on PS4, which is fine. I get you can't turn your back on 120 million consoles out in the world that you could sell software on, but maybe don't tell people that you're building everything for next generation experience.
Yeah, I mean, when I text the article out to you guys, it's like, oh, classic good news, bad news, right? Like
Yeah.
it was, of course, there's the good news, bad news sandwich in this whole thing. They're like, hey, it's only 10 games are not backward compatible, but that new camera that I pre-ordered and then canceled immediately, after I found this out, is not going to work with PSVR, which I do not understand how that works because I don't think the PlayStation 4 camera is anything all that special.
Right.
Because I mean, the PlayStation 5 one, I mean, it's supposed to be more streamer integration and like it'll take away like the backgrounds and things like that, which is all nice, which is improvements. But I can't fathom why it doesn't read the lights.
Yeah. How it
from
can't do
the
last
VR.
generation. How it can't do what a camera that's 5 years old at this point can do.
Correct. Yeah, I don't know. I have no explanation for that. The first PlayStation VR bundle did come up in Japan for pre-order today, I think it was. That does have a dongle included with it. So the dongle does exist for the PlayStation 4 camera. I haven't seen it yet. They just had a box that said like it was included. But
Oh, it's all right. Today I went out and dropped $25 to order a dongle for my fucking headset to work. Which yeah, I have a feeling. So the headset I have is the Astro A50, and the dongle they have basically, because the PS5 doesn't have an optical port on it, they somehow you plug a USB and a optical into this thing and it passes through HDMI. I don't know. It's some kind of electrical engineering magic. But the killer is the HDMI on this thing is only HDMI 2.0B.
okay.
So it doesn't affect me at this point, but anyone who's like gone out and bought a new TV with next gen gaming in mind, that dongle is completely going to screw them out of those HDMI 2.1 benefits.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, all right, $25 for a cheap fix, or do you want a whole new headset? Because like those are pretty much what your options are going to be. And then I don't know. That sucks.
That's fine because I'm gonna make sure to wear that headset out before my extended warranty expires, and then I'm just gonna go to Best Buy and trade it in and go, give me that one.
Yeah, there you go. All right, I have to list of 10 games.
All right,
so
tell me these these 10 masterpieces that are not backwards compatible.
Yeah, grab the Kleenexes, because you're gonna be weeping when you hear these names. DWVR.
Never heard of it. What is it?
I don't. It's DWVR is what it is. I don't know. It's all one, like there's no spaces. So DWVR. Afro Samurai 2: Revenge of Kuma Volume 1. TT Isle of Man on the Ride on the Edge 2.
That's a racing game.
It is. It's like I think it's a motorcycle racing game specifically. Just deal with it. Just deal with it.
Is that their messaging on these 10 games not working, or is that an actual game?
Yep.
That was one of those play link games.
Well, that's right. It was a card game, right?
Yeah.
I do know that one. Shadow Complex Remastered, which was a remastered game from Xbox 360 days. So it doesn't work. Robinson the Journey, which is I think the only VR game on this list that I guess is really terrible anyway, so whatever.
Isn't DWVR a VR game?
I'll look it up next, I guess, because I don't know what the hell that is.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's a PlayStation VR game.
Okay. Then We Sing, Hitman Go Definitive Edition, like we talked about earlier, Shadwin, and Joe's Diner, which I think is a horror game with a giant fish head man. That I am going to look up because I feel like I want to be right about that. I want to just like put that out there and be wrong about it.
I mean, what's that thing people say? If you put it out in the universe, it'll happen.
Yeah, I guess. If I make this giant fish man happen, I'll be very upset.
Well, I know Joe's Diner on eBay, the physical copy skyrocketed after they released that.
Oh, for real? I might be thinking of something else because this doesn't look like this doesn't look like a fish man. So where am I getting fish man from, though? That's the real question. All right, don't listen to me anymore. What's next on the news?
All right, hang on. What did I do on this list?
You want to know about the fish man? I understand.
I mean, I'm very curious about the fish man. So apparently GameStop's entered into an agreement with Microsoft for revenue sharing on any hardware that GameStop sells. So basically, if GameStop sells an Xbox, somehow that'll be tracked on the back end, and if I buy digital games on that system, GameStop gets a cut. Was
Cool.
Microsoft feeling generous and wanted to keep GameStop in business? What?
I guess. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know about this one.
It's like I don't know.
Well, as I say, I know with GameStop they always have their sales quotas there, and how much you want to bet a new sales rule is. If a parent comes in and they don't know what new system to get their kid, guess what you're telling them to buy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, maybe Microsoft's looking at it as like a marketing expense. You know, thinking that that'll lead GameStop to put like Microsoft products front and center in their stores.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely part of that. I mean, there's some place. I guess there are some places that still want to just use. They want to re-up Game Pass via like a card as opposed to like doing it digitally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This boggles the mind. It's a huge win for GameStop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, for them, it's. I mean, outside of whatever, like, I don't think there's any details on like what this all actually entails. If it does involve like certain staging of products in the physical store, but for GameStop, it kind of seems like it's like free money. Hey, we were going to sell your consoles anyways.
unless you're just flat like we're not going to sell your consoles anymore, which I doubt GameStop would be like whip that one out on them.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, man.
Hey, listen,
like
our business is on the brink of complete collapse and failure.
Yeah,
we're not going to sell your shit anymore.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know. It's like Rey Mysterio going over to the Big Show being like, listen, here's what's going to happen. Like, it's just nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, good for GameStop, I guess.
I mean, it's been looking dire for them for years, right?
Right.
So, like, this is like the biggest win I can think of them having ever. Like,
yeah.
Can you imagine like how little they can take back from Xbox games now? They're like, no, we're just 12 cents.
Right. Yeah.
For real.
Actually, you have to pay us to destroy that.
Yeah.
It's a recycling fee. All right, so moving on to the next news item. So there was a big to-do about Sony released it's on top of the cell.
This is the escape.
All right. Yeah.
Sony unveiled the PS5 UI. Xbox showed theirs off later that day as a response, I guess. I personally I don't get it. I don't know why we need to see this before release.
I completely until right now I didn't know Microsoft did one. So did anyone watch that one?
I didn't. They posted it somewhere online and Twitter or some shit. I don't know.
It's already on.
I missed the PlayStation 1 by 4 days. Like I came back to be like, blah 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 reacts to PlayStation 5 UI. It was like 4 days ago. I'm like, man, I have been gone I've been in a whole other world for days. Anyway.
Yeah, no, the Microsoft one. It's already on Xboxes actually.
Okay, so
it's a new interface you saw already.
Xboxes.
So it's what I talked about earlier.
So like the store and everything. That's what it is. Yeah.
Cool. I'm in the next generation already.
I mean,
on my original Xbox One.
PlayStation showed some cool, like, I didn't need to have that, but it's cool to have it type features, but I didn't need to see the UI shown off ahead of the release. Can something be a surprise the day I get this thing? Or do you just want to tell me everything I'm getting for Christmas?
Yeah, they still talk a little bit about it. Like, we were running out of time. Like, what kind of time are you talking about? Like, you made this video. This could be 5 hours long if you wanted it to be. So I mean, yeah, they like 11-minute long video, and they highlighted what it looks like when you hit the PlayStation button, like in a game, and then like the home screen, which is kind of like you used to do on the PlayStation 4. It has all your games and options and things like that. I mean, like some of the differences they showed, like they have the trophy progression now, which is nice to be like, you're at X amount of percent to get this next trophy, which Xbox has had all last generation. Is super nice. Very much so appreciate that. But they also had like different quests like in the game. So they had Sackboy's Big Adventure. Mm-hmm. They hit the pause button or the PlayStation button and came up with like, hey, you've only got like 20% of this one quest done. Want to start it? And as opposed to like finding it in the map, like as you're walking around in the game, you press that button, you start that quest, and it kind of gives you also there's like 3 different levels, three different objectives on that quest, and it outlines them for you in the UI. And if you're a PlayStation Plus member, it can give you like free like YouTube clips of like here's how you do this thing if you're having trouble with it. It won't show you anything spoilery, like it automatically like censors out things I guess are spoilery. Um, and you can like move it around the screen and things like that. So like it's kind of like what Stadia talked about, like automatically
Right.
like booting you into like a YouTube clip and things like that. I don't know if Stadia even does that.
Is Stadia
Because I
even really a
haven't.
thing? Does it exist? Has anyone seen it?
It's getting a new game apparently, according to Stake from earlier. It's getting a new game this week. But
only Ubisoft supports
of course, Ubisoft are like, sure, we'll put our game on that. Like,
What's
we'll
that?
put our game on
Yeah,
everything.
Smart Toaster. Yeah, we want to watch dogs a bit.
So that's like it's interesting. I don't know how. I mean, as like last time we talked about how much little stuff I looked up on Tony Hawk 1 and 2. Like I would have definitely used that in the system as opposed to going back to my phone and going like back and forth on that.
Yeah, I mean that
Yeah.
stuff will be useful. Like the way I usually play games is I play the game, and depending on A, how much I like the game, and B, how close I am, I may try going like for the platinum. So having quickly available stuff like that to help me accomplish that was, like I said, it's a nice to have. It could have not been there, and I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah, totally.
Another thing they're doing is I think they're somehow using AI to give you like time to completion on games based on the way that you
Hmm.
play games, which I think is really
Mhm.
interesting. It's
Yeah.
also going to put how long to beat out of business, unfortunately.
I use that so much.
So do I.
Like it's shocking.
Like
Like it's like
I sit down and I'm going to start a new game. I'm like, how long is this thing going to take? Or if I've been playing a game for
Yeah.
longer than I think it should be, I'm like, how much longer do I have?
Yep.
And I'm interested, and just to kind of piggyback on another feature, like with talking about that, like the PlayStation Network is integrated into like the home screen now, so it's not like a separate app where you're going, you come out of the main screen and you go into a different app, like it's all built in there, which I think is super slick. And I'm wondering if some of that stuff's going to be built into that, or like average play time and things like
Right.
that are going to be actually presented to you in the store as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like some of the other stuff that they're working towards, they've already implemented in the firmware update that came out last week. I think it's the 8.0 update.
Yeah,
A bunch of stuff around like parties and voice chat and
trophies.
trophies. Yeah, my trophy level went from 13 to like 290 something.
Yeah, I want
Yep.
to see what mine is now.
Mike,
I'm like,
Mike, I think yours like 323 or something.
I used to be.
Snake's
Andy
a
was over
coward
this.
and hides his.
Oh, really? Actually, I don't think
I
I've
don't.
ever
I
paid
don't.
attention to that.
Do I?
I went and checked earlier while we were doing this, and yours says not public. I'm
What
two.
the hell?
I'm
What the
288.
hell's going on with that?
Let's see. Mike is a 348.
And I think
And
Andy's closest to me.
yeah, Andy's he's over 300, 326.
Yeah, because I think he's got more platinums than me. Because that actually makes a difference now. Like how. Well, I mean, it made a difference before, but it must significantly more difference now. I think it's. I mean, the new trophy system is cool because they have they have bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, just like the trophies do. But they have 3 different levels of each too.
Right.
So like, I feel like all right, I'm level 22 now. Cool. Like
Right.
that didn't really do anything
No.
for me, but I'm like, man, I'm pretty close to like the next level of silver or like getting into gold.
You're level 348. You might be silver.
I am silver. I'm mid.
Okay.
I think I'm mid round silver. Let me check that out because I got to know now because you said something. But
264, still bronze.
264.
PS trophies. 250. No, I'm not doing that right now. But yeah. So what we're talking about? Oh, the UI stuff. So yeah, the trophies are the trophies are new. A lot of people really didn't like the new party chat features. I didn't. I don't understand it
I'm
though.
kind of confused by it. So like the one thing is like now party chat is integrated with like the text chat in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm confused. Like if I have a party with you two guys and we're like voice chatting and playing a game, and like someone else jumps in to play, can they then see our text chat history where I was talking shit about them?
Maybe.
I
Hopefully.
would
I hope
assume
not.
So I can finally know what you think.
I gotta go through and delete all my text chats and my browser history.
Always.
But yeah, I'm kind of confused about that part of it. It doesn't make it any easier or harder really to get into a voice chat because I've been in a couple since then, but I have to like go into the text chat with the people I want to party up with and go in from there. I guess I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
quite understand the reasoning.
Yeah, I think my issue with it is just like I don't. You always need like a party to have a party chat, like a defined party of people.
Right.
Not like it was
Right.
before, where it's just like I have joined the party, Steak has joined the party, and then we can all chat. I need to have like a Steak and Art party, and then start that party up, and then when you guys
Mhm.
show up, you like fill in your slots. I
Yeah,
think that's what it
and that's the
is.
thing. Like, I'm not sure. Like, if I have a party with you two guys and we have a someone else jump on that wants to play a game that we're playing, like, can they just come in? Do they have to be invited in? Do we have to leave and form a new chat party to voice chat? And
Yeah, I'm hoping it's to be like add party member. You know what I mean? Like you add
yeah,
a party, like I said, so and
Yeah.
so wants to join the party, add party member, whoever's hosting, you're in and you're on, you're talking.
yeah.
I think would be the primo way to do that. All right, what else in the UI can I think of right now?
I'll say one more thing on the voice chat. The thing after that
Oh
firmware
yeah,
update that spooked everyone was the first time you sign in and go into a voice chat, it gives you a message saying that your chats are being recorded now and maybe listened to. I'm pretty sure that only happens if somebody reports you for saying something
Oh yeah,
racist or
I'm sure.
homophobic or otherwise
Yeah.
inappropriate.
yeah, right.
I don't think there's someone.
Feels
I don't think there's people at Sony actually sitting there listening to my voice chats. Um, as someone who works in IT, I don't go through and look at everyone's email, even though they think I do. Uh, I don't have time for that, quite frankly, and I don't really care.
Oh, can you imagine how many people Sony would have to hire just to sit
Right,
through and listen to every single party chat that's going on
Mhm.
all throughout all throughout the world?
right,
That's insanity.
yeah. So
Uh,
I would say
yeah, like
I don't know what more you had to say about the UI. It's one of those things like I don't get why a video was needed for that ahead of time.
and like if you're gonna show the video, like either blow it out or don't do it at all.
Right,
Like
Right.
show like here like the customize button just kept showing up on the bottom. I'm like hit the customize button so we can see what can you do, what can you change,
right.
and none of that kind of stuff happened. So like I still think there's a lot that's going on in there, but it was like I think Art, to your point, it was just like I watched the video. It's like it's like 11 minutes long. I'm like, all right, cool. I mean, this is like a couple features I probably will never use, and some features I already know. And the PlayStation Store is different. All
Yeah.
right, cool. Like
Right.
that's kind of what I felt about it, and I would imagine that there's a lot more to that, but they didn't show it.
Yeah, and I love their comment like, "We're running out of time." It's like it's a pre-recorded YouTube video. You can make this thing 6 fucking hours if you want.
And someone would sit down. Someone would sit down
Yeah,
and make a 12-hour video, but the 6-hour video.
right.
So it's just like I don't know, man. Like I don't know. Steak, how did you feel about it?
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, honestly, I mean, the cards is cool. I mean, Sackboy makes a good use of them, but that's because it's a first party game. How
Right.
many, how many, how many developers are actually going to develop using those cards? I think it's going to be very slim.
I
Yeah.
think
Some of the car.
I think
Yeah.
initially you'll see a lot of them do it, and then as
Oh,
time
the
goes
first
on,
the first 6 months, every game will pretty much use it in some form or way, and then after that, forget it.
Yeah. The news and the news and the screenshots. Obviously, I'm making screenshots. So if I make a screenshot, it's going to show up. There. It has nothing to do with the game. But I can't imagine that the games themselves. Well, every Microsoft game has their achievement bar on there. So
Mhm.
like I assuming that's like a standard thing. Like if you want to have a game on our system, we need that to work.
right?
So I think that's going to be in everything, just because it would kind of break the system if you don't.
Sure.
But those hints, I think, is one of those things that you're not going to see much non-first party games going through the time to make those take more development time to make those videos to put
Yeah.
into the back end of their game for PlayStation Plus members only to have access to them. Like it doesn't really. If I'm a developer, I'd be like, I'm not going to spend development time on that. I'm just not, because
Right.
it doesn't do me any good.
Okay, Ubisoft's not going to create a video of how to collect
No,
all 200,
Ubisoft
200 feathers.
Ubisoft will. No one else will. Ubisoft will.
Yeah.
Also, they don't need to. You just need to be the lucky YouTuber who made that video that PlayStation links to your video, so you get all the web traffic.
Well, it does it link to a video, or is it something that's built? I think that's another question I had. Like, I can't imagine that would. I don't think it boosts. I don't think it goes to a YouTube video. I think
Oh.
it goes to
No.
It goes to their own thing, their own server of
It is.
videos
Yeah, no.
that
Yep.
shows it just like
Third-party
everyone
companies aren't
sees the
going to
same
do that.
video.
Third-party
No,
companies aren't
no,
going to do that.
that costs
No.
money.
Right.
I mean, unless you needed to have a video game certified in the PlayStation 5, I don't think people are going to do it.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Okay, last news story. This came out today. NBA 2K21 keeps making friends. They have added unskippable ads to the pregame loading screen.
Why don't just have their credit fiasco from a couple of years ago? If you don't have the credit fiasco, when people are just spending all this money on credits to get a new haircut or whatever the hell you do on NBA, well, okay, fine. We'll scroll back in the credits, but you're gonna have Oculus Quest 2 ads and Snickers ads and all kinds of stuff like that.
That you can't skip, and it's during the pregame loading portion where you used to be able to like adjust your roster and your game plan and stuff. But now you get to watch an ad instead of doing that useful stuff.
Wow, greedy 2K, so stupid.
Yeah, I don't.
Are they hurting for money?
No, they're not.
I mean, if Take-Two's hurting for money, just make another GTA game already. Come on.
Right.
But like, I don't like baseline hate ads in games. Like we've been dealing with that for a long time. Like you said, like right now I'm playing NCAA 13, and it's just like halftime show brought to you by Snickers or whatever the hell it is, and that's it. It doesn't like change anything or like change the, like you said, like with this game, like when the ads were up, or usually before, even when the game first came out, you could adjust like strategies and rosters and your bench and things like that. And a month after the game comes out, you can't do that anymore because of an ad.
Right.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
agreed.
So like and they may be doing it this way too, but it's different. So like you mentioned the NCAA football thing where it's like whatever going into the game or between quarters or whatever. At that point, it's a presentation thing. They're trying to make it like a TV presentation.
Right.
Right.
Because it is.
Right. And so I understand if they're trying to do this like, hey, it's the commercial lead in to the, halftime show or whatever. I feel like older games have shown there's ways to have that, product placement advertising without completely stomping on the game experience and actually to some degree enhancing the game experience.
Right.
Like in a sports game is the stupidest thing ever, because anyone who's ever been to a sporting event, you're looking around and what do you see? You see ads for things everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's always downtime. Like between quarters or something, just be like, the same thing, just like show like the ad, or like have in the bubble right now, they have these giant screens in the background. Like you can have the ad playing behind there. It's just like there's a million different ways they could have approached it as opposed to stopping the game, changing the functionality of the game, and throwing it in there.
I agree.
Yup. Yeah, I thought it was kind of ridiculous. I think the general feeling among the people who play that game and the internet is that it's ridiculous.
All right, so this has been pretty quick, but that's the last news item you said, right?
Yup.
Okay. Quick question for you guys.
Yikes.
How you? No. This should be a fun one. But like, how we've been? Okay, we're all 30-something years old, mid-30s to late 30s. I won't say who's what. We've been through multiple generations of consoles. Like I had an Atari. I don't really remember systems launching until probably like the PlayStation 1 era. Like I remember when that was like the ads were going on and coming out. Really started ramping up the PlayStation 2, Xbox 360 era, the PlayStation 2, then the PlayStation 3 and Xbox. God, I am so tired.
PlayStation 2 and Xbox.
I blame Xbox for this because their naming convention is stupid. Xbox, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and 4, and Xbox One. So like, we've seen a multiple different generations of games, of systems come out. So like, how excited are you for this one coming out in a couple weeks?
I'm more excited for this one than I was for the last one, for the Xbox One PS4 launch, just because I know I can take it out of the box and use it day one. Like my launch PS4 sat in the box for maybe a month, or at least a month, maybe two, until there was a game on there that I wanted to play that I needed to use the PS4 to play. The fact that I can pull this thing out of the box, hook it up to the TV, download Rainbow Six, and then download Miles Morales, and there's if I wanted to, I could still play Miles Morales on my PS4, but it'll look and run better on PS5. Like, I feel like there wasn't a lot of that last generation, and I mean that has me more excited at minimum.
Steak?
Yeah. I'm definitely more excited this gen than I was last gen, and probably it's probably closer to when I think the most excited I was 360 when that came out. But I think this is now they're getting closer. It's getting close. I'm getting back up there again, and and then also seeing some of the videos and stuff that people have been posting, especially about Series X and how the games are now not even like company touched, are just running way better. It's incredible because I've got plenty of games to still play that fit in there. So that's gonna be awesome. And then PS5, I can't wait to just get that monster in my hand.
Have you figured out what you're doing with your TV setup yet?
No, I need them in my possession, and that's how that's gonna happen.
So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna put the PS5 horizontally under the TV in that slot. You're gonna put the Xbox on the shelf next to the TV and drill a hole over to run your wire.
That's one of the things I've been considering. Yep.
You just gotta mount the Series X on the wall.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'm sure you can do it.
Yeah.
Just stick it on the wall. Yeah, I asked the question because I find myself significantly more excited about this one than I was with the last one.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get a PlayStation 4 for almost a year.
Well, you had your 5-game rule.
I had my 5-game rule. I still do, kinda. I had it for the Switch.
You do, but you can take 5 games that you already own, and you have 5 games to play on that new system.
Right. But if any newcomers to the show, my 5-game rule is I didn't buy a system until there was 5 games on it I wanted specifically for that system.
It's a good rule.
And I would buy that. I would buy the system and the 5 games for it all at the same time and just have a blast. So that took almost a year for the PlayStation 4 for that to be true. And then I got the the Xbox One later. I bought Art's used one from when you upgraded right to the Series X, or you had an extra one. You repaired them for a while, right?
I think I got rid of the one I had that you bought because I got a 1X, I think.
Okay.
Or 1S, I don't know. I may have just gotten rid of it because I wasn't playing it, and then somehow I ended up buying another Xbox later. So
there's also a possibility.
You know what? I'm not buying a Series X at launch. It doesn't mean I'm not going to have one in 6 months. Okay.
Yeah, but I think what Art was talking about earlier is just I was I bring all my stuff with me. I have, almost 3 terabytes of games on a hard drive. I'm going to take out of one and pop it into another and have ready to rock and roll. So I'm not missing anything there. And if anything, like Steak was saying, it's going to be enhanced because both systems are going to be enhancing the games now. I watched I watched a 40-minute video, I think, from Digital Foundry talking about all these different games and the Xbox Series X and how they look and how they're playing and how everything's locked at 60 frames a second, and even older stuff I can play Xbox games and even those are significantly improved, which just blows my mind. But yeah, I am super excited for this one. It kind of caught me off guard. It's I think it swept over me when I said I wasn't gonna because of my game rule. I wasn't necessarily gonna buy an Xbox Series X out of the gate. I was just I want one. So it was just I'm just so excited. I always want one. So I decided to get it. So I really do find myself kind of swept up in it, and I'm doing that thing I would do around E3s and other console launches where I'm just and now I didn't have Twitter 7 years ago, I don't think. So like now I'm just like refreshing on that all the time. I'm looking at news sites. I look at all the time, and forums. I look at all the time. Just be like, what's new? What's coming out? You know, what are people saying? Especially now that more and more is coming out, and people had Series X's in their hands and giving their impressions. So I was just like, man, I find myself just super excited for this console launch.
Not gonna lie, I scheduled the 13th off.
Good for
Nice.
you. I always feel like I'm not putting this bad juju on you, but like I feel like if I take this time off, something's gonna happen to my pre-order. So I'm gonna be sitting there, you know,
If something
at
happens to
home.
all my pre-orders, I'm setting off a nuke.
Our situations are a little different. Yeah, I got.
I'm setting
I gotta
off
go to steak to
a
go
large explosion somewhere if somehow all of my pre-orders go wrong.
Well, if all your pre-orders go wrong, it was probably because of the explosion that happened. Like you didn't. The
Right.
previous explosion happened.
No. One causes the other.
But like I'm seeing like pictures online of pallets of wrapped Xbox One X's or Series X's. I'm sorry, and just like, oh man, this is happening. Like I don't miss my retail days at all. Let me preface this statement with that. But it's really cool when those things came in. Like when I said I was the Wii Baron of Countryside, Illinois, and like the first Wii's come in, like it was like everyone was like huddled around watching, looking at these 4 boxes because it's all we got.
Right. Yeah.
And just being like, oh, look, and we we passed it around with like reverence. So like and we got a chance to look at them and things like that. And like right now, some of the stuff is. I saw a picture today of a DualSense controller on the shelves at a Walmart somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So like that's gonna be happening now because we're getting closer and closer to the date. Some of these street dates are gonna get fail. I don't know if there are street dates on like the accessories for the PlayStation 5 stuff, but
Seems like there isn't
I
anymore.
I thought they bumped it up to sometime before the actual console launch.
that's so cool. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just like you can go to a store sometime in the next couple of weeks, most likely, and put your hands on something that's next generation. Like that's just so neat. Yeah. So like I said, I'm giddy about this whole thing. So
For sure.
it's a nice change of pace from like the last one, which like I don't know. It was just like a weird time and place. And then, like I said, the PlayStation, I got so burned on getting a PlayStation 3 early. I think that also kind of made my opinion different for the PlayStation 4, and that kind of really that PlayStation 3 experience generated my 5 game rule. So like I'm like, all right,
So
well,
it lasted a generation.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it also, I mean, it lasted. Again, it was Xbox 360, it was the Xbox One, it was the PlayStation 4, and the Switch. So those 4, and the Wii U never got there. So, so I got it was really 5 systems, and not even including handhelds and things like that. So
Right.
it lasted long enough. But yeah, but it lasted one generation. But that was like all of PlayStation 3 and all of PlayStation 4. So it was like almost a 15-year gap where that rule worked. It's nice we got to use a rule like got to use a rule like once every 7 years. Isn't that bad to follow that one? All right, I think that's all I got for you guys. Anything else you want to part with before we part ways? Any other next gen thoughts, because we're getting to the thick of it now.
I do have
I
something.
just want it in my hands.
If anyone from the government's watching this, I will not actually blow anything up. I don't know anything about nuclear fusion or fission or wherever you need to build a nuke. So just throwing that out there. I can barely make a grilled cheese, okay?
Well,
Awesome.
I think that's as good as any to end on. So we'll see you next time, Stickheads.